working with MIDI in BandLab. So first off, what is MIDI? MIDI actually stands for Musical Instrument Digital Interface, which is basically how a computer understands musical notation. Okay. Now, in order to use MIDI, I need to create an instrument track, which we've already done a little bit in one of the previous projects. So I'm going to create an instrument track. Okay. And then that's going to take me here. So in the last project, the Discovery project, we practiced recording by using the keyboard to play the notes as we recorded. Okay. There's another way that I can input MIDI notes. Now, when we did this with the keyboard, right, that was a way of inputting MIDI information, right? It was just recording it as I went. The other way I can input MIDI information, if I double click on this track up here, oops, okay, what you'll get is this empty space here. So now it popped in about 4 measures worth, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 complete measures of music. But right now it's just empty. If I look in this file, there's no notes whatsoever. Okay, so there's a couple things to take note of first before we start typing anything in. And the first thing we take note of is the keyboard along the left side here. Okay, that's going to tell me what notes are on these bars. Okay, so for example, this white line, or grayish line in this case, right next to this C5, right, is going to be the note C. So if I wanted the note C, I could put it next to this one on this line here. Okay, the other thing to take note of are the numbers along the top of the line here. So these relate to the beats and the measures. So this is measure 1, beat 1, measure 1, beat 2, measure 1, beat 3, measure 1, beat 4. So how do I actually input notes here? Well, first thing I got to do is grab the pen tool. Okay, and I click on that. Now I have a little pencil where my mouse is, and I can click and draw a note wherever I want. So if I click, and now I can make it however long I want. Now in this case, I want it to be 1 beat long. So I'm going to fill all the space from 1 to 1.2 here. Right, this is all beat 1. So this is equivalent to a quarter note, right? It fills up this entire beat. Okay, now if I wanted another quarter note, say for example, I wanted the note D, I would look at my piano. So this is C, so this makes this D. So I would find beat 2, and I would make a quarter note D there, right? So once again, if it's a quarter note, it's going to occupy the whole beat. So from here to here, beat 2 to beat 3. So all of beat 2. Then if I wanted an E, this would be E on the piano, right? And I would go and find beat 3 here, and I would draw another one, all for 1 beat here. Okay. Now I can do the same thing. I want an F, and I want that to be a whole beat. Okay. And then a G, so I find the next white key here, and that's in measure 2 now. You see, we have a 2 here, so that's measure 2 at this point. Okay. Now I keep going. So this was G, this is A now. Okay. Then I can keep going. Next white key is a B. Okay, so all of these are whole notes at this point. Okay, if I wanted to make, or quarter notes rather, these are all quarter notes. They each get 1 beat. Okay, now say I wanted to end this last C here on a whole note. Well, I could, right? So I'm going to make 1 a quarter note here, and then I'm going to repeat that C if I want, and I'm going to make it a whole note. So a whole note needs to get 4 beats though. So it's going to take up all of beat 1, all of beat 2, all of beat 3, and all of beat 4. So this last note here is going to take up all of measure 3. See, I have beat 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, now if I play this back, right, I'm going to set the metronome so we can hear the click here. Right, and what you'll notice, right, these first notes are quarter notes, And for every click on the metronome, a new note is going to play. This last note, the whole note here, is going to last for 4 of those clicks. Okay, take a listen. Okay, and that's one way of inputting MIDI information. Now, say I had made a mistake, right? I can take the mouse and I could select a note, and if I hit delete, it would delete those notes. I can also click on a note and drag it up or down or left or right if it's not in the right spot. I can change the pitch by making it higher or lower. Or if it was too early, say for example, I missed and I started this second note too early, right? It's a bit earlier than where I want it. Take a listen to this. Hear how it's a little bit earlier? I can slide it and kind of correct my mistake. So this is a way to manually input notes by typing them in as opposed to trying to record it in real time. Just another way of inputting information.